Yes, with the right person. It might not be the first guy you meet or first girl you meet, but it's possible. I've seen it in my own house. My parents have a romance which I can't even believe exists. But touch wood, I think God bless them. They've been so idealistic. It's made my life miserable. I'm finding it really hard to find a partner because they've set the goal up so high.
Why? I want to know about this high goal. Like,
Because I don't know, is it a generation problem that we're facing or is it an individual problem? But I think the previous generation found it much easier to put the other person before you. Nothing wrong in being selfish, but I think love or care of any kind, I'm saying even in friendships, forget a relationship. I'm talking about even general friendships. You think about your friend before you think about yourself. It's not a projection. It's not like you're trying to prove to the world कि यार देखो मैं इतना अच्छा इंसान हूँ, मैं इसके बारे में सोच रहा हूँ, मैं अपने बारे में नहीं सोच रहा. But it's about relationships or friendships are about care before love, because love is, I don't know, it's very badly been used, so that terminology is ruined. But I think care or just like that small things which really matter, I think those things make an actual relationship.
I think there's 4 kinds of love languages. The first is like physical, like you hug and kiss and hold hands and all, and that's how you express your love to them.
Yeah.
The second is verbal, where you say like, oh, I love you, or like, and that's often like writers, poets, they'll say things like that. Because those thoughts, that's me. So
That's sweet.
like where you'll express a lot. And that's why they say that girls fall for poets or girls fall for writers. The third is like quality time, where like that's how you express your love. Where you're like, no, I just want to spend time with you. I don't want any.
Yeah, I think I'm that sort.
Like you just want to be around.
I like to be like physically around the person, like hovering around for no reason. I don't need to talk to the person or interact with the person, but I like the presence.
Yeah.
No, I think I can really give this, I don't know, get away from me kind of vibe if I want to.
How many do a lot of
Yeah,
guys
I
hit on you?
don't.
I'm just
No, actually, I don't. Sometimes even the ones I want don't, which is terrible. But yeah, I think somehow I don't have guys walking up. I think I'm the one who's normally. I don't think this is something you can tell anyone. It's just that either you're interested, so you reach out to the person, or not really. Nowadays, I just roam around, like not bothered. And also now we're wearing masks, right? Saves us a lot of getting ready time. But yeah, I feel like just always being presentable is exhausting. Because you don't always look like that. You don't wake up looking like that. And yeah, there's a high expectation out of you at any given point of time. Like, I mean, if you're having a bad day or you're sick or you're just going through something really traumatizing, that will not stop anyone from coming and asking you for a selfie, like, because they don't know that you're going through that and they don't really care also, I think.
What's the difference between the people? I know you can't generalize.
Yeah, no, it's unfair to generalize. I agree, because I think everywhere people are different. But I feel like here in the Hindi film industry, I've seen people being a lot more. The hierarchy is there, but it's not so much into your. Like everyone works together and it's all very chill. I think there's a little more consciousness of hierarchy in the South, which is just the way they function. I think that's everywhere in our country, probably even in the world. Yeah.
But even today, like after you're fully
Yeah.
established,
Yeah,
like
for
what?
sure.
Like what happens?
Like your caravan will be a little further down than, than your male counterpart. Something, this sounds kind of trivial. It as a girl, I think these things really matter, because sometimes you're in something really difficult to wear. Practically, you would imagine that they would want to put the lady first, but it doesn't happen. When the lady puts the foot down, I think women have to still put their foot down to get that.
Yeah.
You get it. It's possible.
Which is also something I bring up a lot on our business podcast with a lot of women. Like they say that girls often don't ask for things सामने से,
because they feel they'll offend, and that's tragic. But I think for women who have been able to put their foot down, I think it always does ruffle a few feathers. And but I think There's no other way to do it.
Jewelry brand shoot as a model, and back then I was with Elite Modeling Agency. So she happened to approach the agency, me along with a couple of other girls from the agency. She asked for a meeting. We went to her house, and we were all sitting on a she had a lovely sofa and chairs put up and everything, and we were all there in the room, and one by one, and she kept asking an interview, just gauging a
Personalities.
glimpse of one's personality with conversations. And I remember she asking me something very some sort of a general knowledge question she had asked me back then. Something had happened in New Zealand, or something had happened. And to my fortune, I knew what was happening. I was up to date, and I happened to speak to her, and she's like, "Okay, you're smart." And then she's like, "Okay, can you dance?" And I'm like, "I don't have professional training, but I can try." And then she put up some couple of songs from Rabne Bana Di Jodi and Dhoom and couple of other songs, and I kept dancing for approximately an hour plus. And I'm like, "Listen, I have a flight back. I can't dance anymore. I have to go." Clearly I didn't understand what's happening because I'm just dancing and giving a impromptu audition. And then it's not like I had a scene or anything. I had to enact out a scene. So she's like, okay, good enough for the day and everything. Okay, bye. I'm sitting in my flight. I get a call and she's like, "Listen, can you stay back? I would like to audition you further." The flight. I was in my flight, and I remember I think it was a Wednesday or something, Tuesday or Wednesday. And on Friday, the same week, I had a Cosmopolitan shoot. It was my first ever big shoot with a magazine. And I'm like, "No, Shano, I can't stay back." And firstly, it's not like, it's a new city for me, and we don't really know each other that well, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and there's no scene that you have. It's not like, it's a quick day's audition you do and you leave back. So she's like, "Okay, go do your shoot, come back, and then we can audition you further." I still didn't believe her. And I'm like, "Are you sure? Is this serious? Is this going? I'm not going to play some character artist ka role or anything. I'm looking out to be, the lead. Otherwise, I don't want to do it." And she's like, "What's wrong with you? Firstly, just calm down and we'll send you a flight ticket. Just come." Then she spoke to my parents. My parents they've always been highly overtly protective about us throughout our childhood. So they're like, "Okay, it's Yash Raj Films, it's reputed, and they seem ethically and morally sound, and it's Shanu Sharma." She's kind of comforted my family because, it's a woman casting director and everything's in place. And my Elite agency was very thorough professionals. So I'm like, "Okay, the base is fine." They sent me a ticket. She kind of arranged where I could stay in Bombay. She helped me get a place. Stayed for a month, auditioned a lot. Manish Sharma liked my auditions, and then that's how I got Shuddesi. Yeah.
Luck?
So I don't know if
any luck present here?
Maybe, or maybe I manifested it. Maybe while, as a little child, when I used to look at Yashaj films and Dharma films, and I do remember wanting to be an actor and dancing like those heroines and looking like them and enacting those scenes. I think maybe somewhere it really hit a feeling and kind of sparked, my I think the jet to my on-way journey to the industry. I think there is absolutely, these two things are dissected very systematically in my life. There's a personal life and there's a professional life. And I'm not trying to kind of make one compete with the other.
And then eventually emotionally as well, because it's all in tune, right? So there was a phase where I literally came to a film set and I was just spooked out of emotions. I had nothing to offer. Like, I had to cry. I was like, I can't cry because there's nothing left in me, because I've exhausted myself. So I feel like that should not happen to an actor. Yeah, that is true. That's the problem. If you don't do it, also you don't get what you get. But I guess it's this process of trying to strike a balance. Because, of course, if I were to simplify it and put it, I'd say you can't run a marathon every day. I've been very disciplined. Very, very. And I'm very... I really go with my heart. Like, sometimes it's so impulsive. I think it's the Sagittarian in me, which makes me do this. I'm so impulsive. Like, I will just jump into doing something and I'll be like, why did I even do this? But and most of my good decisions and some of also my very, very bad decisions have been impulsive. But I'd still choose. But one thing I also firmly believe in is to experience, because I was in that phase where I was reading a lot, I was watching a lot, and I was trying to search this something outside that would help me sort my life out. Because I was big into self-help at that point. But I realized that, you know what, there's only one thing that I need, and that is myself to sort me out. And it's sad when you can't be there for yourself. So it's more about you. It's really not about anything external. So yeah, I stopped searching for it. A train that I did not see coming my way. I was shooting the night before. I got a very strong fever, a very high fever. I was working out and I did my shoot. I came back to my room, landed up with high temperature, and I was like, here we go again. Because I had gone through it with my parents. So I kind of knew that I was in trouble. I woke up in the morning, my temperature was not going down, and my oxygen was low. Typical, not surprising. Then I have to really thank my producer. His name is Pradeep. He is the producer for a web show I'm doing for AHA, which is a Telugu web portal. And he literally rushed me into the hospital in 10 minutes. I was in the hospital, and then there was a bunch of doctors and medical staff that really gave me the top-notch treatment that I needed for 5 days. That's a hospital called Continental Hospitals in Hyderabad, and yeah, in 5 days they got me out of the hospital. Then I was quarantined. I stayed quarantined for as long as I had to, and yeah, but I think it was really scary because I've never been hospitalized before. When I went through
You had trouble breathing?
yes, I wasn't. The funny part is, I wasn't realizing I'm having this trouble. I was getting very tired 3-4 days prior to that. I was shooting also. I was getting tired, and I was like, you know what? I was also working out very hectically. So I was thinking, कि यार मैं बहुत ज़्यादा workout कर रही हूँ. I'm pushing. All of a sudden, after the lockdown, I've just dived into work. So I'm fatigued. Logical explanation to myself. But yeah, I was experiencing that, but I wasn't realizing it. Probably because at this age we're a lot fitter, right? And if someone who trains and also we're used to physical pain, हम बर्दाश्त कर सकते हैं. तो we think कि ये normal. Hence body ache. Like I was taking massages in between shots. I had that much pain, and I was like, नहीं मैं बहुत ज़्यादा lift कर लिया है. तो I was like, that's the problem. But yeah, the entire hospital journey was. That's when you realize that you are alone in life, unfortunately. I mean, there are very big things that happen in your life. Of course, my parents actually flew down to Hyderabad from Mumbai. But of course, we couldn't meet. My parents are I have to mention this because I feel like my life or my achievements are incomplete without their constant support. And yeah, I think the reason I have achieved anything that I have is largely due to my parents.
At
Yeah,
any
for
point.
sure. For sure, because it's not unheard of that people, and my case was not as simple. I did have severe symptoms. So, and it's an open thing. Even now, I'm constantly hearing of cases of people who are on the road of recovery and they pop. So it's possible. I learned that give what you really want in life, time and effort,
Oh,
200%. And I can't fake it anymore. I'm in that phase that Ranveer, if I'm not enjoying this conversation, probably tell you to your face that listen, I'm not liking it. But if I'm loving it, I'd say, Ranveer, can we do this? Can we have a longer interview because I'm really, really having fun.
Are you
And I'm
enjoying this?
loving
Oh,
this.
okay,
And I'm
cool.
really thankful to you to actually get me on a podcast because I think I also feel so much like myself while I am here and I can really talk stuff that I firmly believe in.